Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of this Malakai campaign. It's gonna be an episode full of fights, because I actually just ended up the turn from the previous, and I managed an ambush here, which is perfect. I can deal with one of the armies from the Greenskins, and this is just the start of me turning around this situation here. So I'm deploying, as you can see, overall. By the way, you cannot hear any sound because it's paused, but it is on, don't worry. So overall, just deploying, and I want to make sure that they don't flee, because I have a feeling that they might flee. I was lucky the other time, in retrospect, when I was recording the battle after the replay, I realized, they could have just run away. So I gotta be careful with that. And this is an army that felt wouldn't fight me. And I was right, because they didn't have so many Ragnarok spiders. They didn't have like a ton of black orcs. So yeah, I felt really well that this army would try to flee. So all that I'm doing is trying to inflict losses. Any losses that I can. My catapults are doing way too much damage there, right into the middle of the enemy masses. That's where you want to try and hit. Either that, or you try to hit massive targets, like important targets, like a specific unit of archers maybe, or artillery that will cause you trouble. That's the sort of idea. But if anything, just cause the damage on these black orcs. They're always important. So there's no way that I can catch that Ragnarok spider. That's for sure gonna flee unless I can bait it. But for now, I took away one of the enemy artillery units, and I've done quite enough damage to at least justify the ambush, which is good. I tried to move my units to block them, and I couldn't, but I got a couple of units here. These river trolls, they're gonna get killed. That's cool. So right now I'm in trying to get as much damage as I can to the enemies, and maybe try to force them to attack me. That's the sort of idea here. But these river trolls are now dead. There's a couple of units here, such as these orc spears, the new units. They're getting dead as well. And now I'm gonna drop bombs. Yeah, I'm gonna drop bombs. This is a little bit, I skipped ahead because it was all just the same, let's say. And this is where I'm just dropping bombs. All these units trying to flee, and I'll just inflict as many casualties as I can. And overall, that's the victory. That's a victory. I'm going to pursue. It's going to be a lot of pursuing, so all of these units actually are going to get caught, because I'm going to pursue my gyrocopters, which are perfect for that. That's why I also love the gyrocopters. It gives some flexibility to dwarven armies. Yeah, and I'll manage to get those snortling pump wagons. As you can see, I'm already sending in the gyrocopters to start pursuing all of these units, and they will die. Most of them, if not mistaken, actually. So yeah. Remember, never break pasta in front of Italians. They'll get freaked out about it. So I managed to get quite enough losses, which is great. It's kind of sad that I focused a little bit on the Lord. The Lord always gets replaced, so that's never, never a good idea, I would say. But still, I got some fairly good units. I didn't destroy that river troll, but it's still destroyed a little bit there. And now comes the decision of getting the army replenishment or not. I think so. And I was right, because I get attacked by the same army that I just defeated, plus reinforcements. So I'm glad I destroyed some of it and diminished some of it, because they don't get replenished, which is perfect. So yeah, this is now the main fight here. I'm also considering just retreating and letting the garrison. I didn't say, but the initial plan was to actually make the garrison on this capital settlement just take a blunt of an attack, and then after the enemy takes it out, if they don't capture it, they don't replenish. So if they would just sack the settlement, then I would counterattack and likely wipe out some more of these armies. But I'm now considering that I have enough strength to deal with these guys. It's dangerous because they do have a lot of large entities. So into the battle. We're gonna defend on this location, kind of like corner camping, not really. I'm just taking advantage of that ridge over there, that cliff, okay? And that's also where my reinforcements are coming in from. So if the reinforcements were coming from the other side, I wouldn't. And I'm just gonna send the gyrocopters to wreak havoc. 4 units can just deal so much damage to the enemy backline. It's so cool. you know. It's something that this army shouldn't actually have. I'll show you in the later on, but it's just so good for the early game to set up everything, and then you can have, once you have military, the possibility of building up your military, then you can go into something else. So overall, I'm going to attack mainly the missile units that can be dangerous, such as the artillery, such as anything with armor piercing, but I'll also focus on these Ragnarok spiders if I can. Those are kind of like the main targets. I don't want to take too much damage from them, because I have Gotrek, I have Felix, they're great against these Ragnarok spiders. I have my giant slayers, so I can always have someone that can tackle them a little bit. Not defeat them one-on-one, by the way. Just pose a threat to them while I deal with the other units. So it's one of those things, like if you have an anti-large single entity, use it against anti-large. So let the enemy have some of it left. You know, so all that I'm trying to do is just make the task easier. And overall, just finding out some targets such as these spider riders. But yeah, I really want to weaken their main power. The trolls, the Ragnarok spiders. I had a really poor night, guys. Apologies. It's when you have kids, that's what happens. So the reinforcements are arriving, and I'm going to deploy like that, which is perfect for what I want. And the enemy is about to receive the reinforcements. I'll drop the bombs when the reinforcements are arriving. I destroyed some of the orc area units here, and yeah, everything is going kind of according to plan. I'm leaving out some of the enemy missiles because I kind of want them to, if they're in the weakened state, it's fine for me. I don't want to have to spend the ammunition destroying them fully. I just want them to have like half health. Okay, here's the enemy army. Tons of mobility, which is a big problem. Once I saw this, actually I was like, oh, hold on, I'm in trouble, because there's a lot of mobility, and if they get to my back line, it's a problem. So I suddenly started thinking I have to reshift, maybe target some of the trolls, but maybe also target some of the pumping wagons, maybe check out where the cavalry is going to go to, you know. So definitely the fact that I get the settlement garrison to replenish is good. So I'm trying to get these archer units. They're weakened, and I think I can get them to rout and move away from the battlefield, which is perfect. You know, just getting them to rout, not destroy them fully if I can, just to not spend too much ammunition. You can see that, you know, I've nearly spent all my ammunition, and I've destroyed like what? The catapult, these 2 units of archers, 1 other unit of orc archers, and then that other knight goblin archer unit, and I've made some damage to the Ragnarok spider, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit more damage now, targeting some of the river trolls or some of the stone trolls, mainly because I'm hitting them from the back. So there's a lot of possible likely targets. One thing that I don't want to target is the infantry, because that's going to be for my catapults and my missile units, and I have infantry to deal with them, you know. So I want to just, you know, get my catapults to target anything that is dangerous or that I can hit. At this moment they're barely in range. So hitting the snotlings here makes sense. These guys are armor piercing. They can break through my lines and create issues. If he breaks through with the snotling pump wagons, he gets in with the trolls, and then gets in with the cavalry, and it just reaches my back line so fast. That is a problem. So I still had some bombs, so I decided to drop them. There's no brainer there. If there's a full unit, just drop some bombs on them. But you can see that most of their units are actually lower in health, and I'm now trying to go for, there's like 4 Ragnarok spiders, so I'm trying to go against 2 of them, trying to get them, you know, as low as I can because the other 2 won't. So at least I'll fight, you know, I'll fight only 2. And you can see that the enemy missiles are focusing down my gyrocopters, and I'm not caring too much. I just want them to survive the battle, but at this point I really don't want to stop, you know, any shots from going against these main units. So yeah, while I'm not destroying any full units, they're all arriving very low, which means that I can try to go for the cascade effect, you know, just cause some damage initially, maybe my missiles hit them initially, and then suddenly they are all routing because everyone else is, you know. So that's the strategy here. That's the idea here. Let's see if I can make it work. And of course I'm talking to you about it, so likely it has, but spoiler alert. We're under attack by these angry Santa Claus elves. That's what I like to call those, night goblins. That's what it seems like. And right now he actually engages with one of the lords, so I got my Slayer Lord to try and kill him as fast as possible to ensure that, you know, he has some leadership penalties. These Slayers are waiting for yet another Ragnarok Spider. This one is under attack by my Thunderers, so it should go down fairly easily. And I predict that this is going to be a very contentious point. There's lots of trolls and mobility here. And all that I have are some miners and some warriors there with some Slayers in there. Then there's the artillery units to attack, so I gotta be careful. There's the 2 points of contention. And I'm glad that I was attacking those Snotlings and Trolls, because the fact that they're now lower in health, look, they're almost immediately going down. Okay, that's good. So I immediately see that, okay, those Orc Wars, they're not going to do anything. They have 2 units of infantry nearby. They can't get through them to reach my back line easily. And now I send my Slayers against the 2 Ragnarok Spiders that are decent. They're actually fighting the Black Orcs, which is not the best, but still someone has to, you know. And overall you can see that it's paying off. I see a lot of flags going around. These miners hitting the Ragnarok Spider, that's just because they are on auto. I would have preferred a different target. Maybe these spiders, they would kill them really fast, but I couldn't with all the action. Felix killing a Black Orc there, that's so nice. And these are Ragnarok Spiders. I realize, hey, if these 2 fall, everything on this line crumbles. Ooh, that was a nasty, nasty hit. But yeah, if they fall or if they start retreating, I think this line over here immediately crumbles. But so is mine very close. I have miners against Black Orcs. But they're working because, well, you know, that's what upgrades do. So I'm even, as you notice there, he gets the Wog, and I'm so glad that it hits at this moment, because so many of the units are just fleeing. And I managed to get both Ragnarok Spiders here fleeing just in time. Can imagine the Wog effects for these guys. Ugh. It would have been this Wog a couple of seconds before, and this battle would have been entirely different. Likely I would lose some units. But yeah, it all worked out in the end. Yeah, you can menace all you want, Spider, but you're gonna go home, that's for sure. And then I actually saw this on the replay and I was like, what's happening here? Why aren't my troops engaging? And he's just retreating, which is cool. And that was the victory. That was a very hard-fought battle. Many grudges were settled this day. That's good. Oh, I did this voiceover for the whole battle in one take. Oh. So, I get a lot of money, which is important because I'm having issues with that. I didn't lose a single unit, which is always what I'm aiming for. I've killed a lot of them. Just sad that I didn't manage to kill any Ragnarok Spiders. Come on. Those are the key... that's the key trouble that I have. So, do I want the army replenishment or do I want the gold? I really wanted the gold, but I couldn't. And now the Age of Reckoning is done, and I barely, even with those grudges, I couldn't get through the 50%, which is a problem because that's why my upkeep is so low, because now I'm paying a lot for the grudge settlers units. And I have plenty of them, and they're cool, but I don't know if I should keep so many. I'll try to see if it pays off, but I'm now in the red, and, well, there's a lot of troops to... There's a lot of enemy armies to actually kill here, which I definitely should. I really want this guy to have the replenishment bonuses. By the way, I'm not going Axe Lord or Thunderer or anything like that. Even though I have those units, I'm not upgrading the units that I actually have, because that's not the units that I want to have on this guy. This guy has actually been able to push through, surprisingly, because it's not what I was expecting this guy to be able to do. I was expecting this guy to actually fall back and to defend, but he was pushing against Astragoth and doing a nice job, and I kept pushing and I kept going, and I overextended a little bit, not too much. Yeah, I click on this and then suddenly I realized that it was increased mobility. So that I should have, and particularly it would be important for this, but still. Now let's fight yet another battle. I realize that I'm going to lose some units, so I'm going to fight it out. And this is much easier because that's where gyrocopters for me shine really well in artillery. Is because you can take these small fights instead of auto-resolving. It doesn't take too long. It takes like 2 minutes. We always think, unless you have a poor computer in terms of loading times, which you shouldn't. SSD is kind of cheap, and that solves it immediately, guys. But that means just that you can use the gyrocopters to take out the main targets, and then suddenly you don't have too much trouble. And you don't lose as much as in the auto-resolve. Because if you do too many auto-resolves in a row, then your potential gets lost, because you're losing some health, and suddenly you need to use the replenishment ability, and it all triggers down. So fight these small battles if you can, guys. I would say fight every battle if you can, if you're not bored, of course, but still. So getting my gyrocopters to just drop the bombs, that's the main damage source, I would say. If you don't realize it, that's a huge damage source for the gyrocopters, and that's something that you should definitely go for. So, a little bit of a mistake here where I forgot to take away the auto fire from my miners. So hitting my own dwarf warriors on the back. This spider is just so afraid of Gotrek. It decided to die. It's better. Gotrek goes like, yeah, nothing to see here. They handle it. He's still waiting for a challenge, I guess. And that's yet another spider gone. And here's the other spider on the right side, going to engage finally. Gotrek, I think I sent Gotrek, or did I forget? Maybe I forgot. But yeah, I'm hitting the spider from behind with the gyrocopters. Gyrocopters are great because they're great. They're like flying missile cavalry, which means you can issue all sorts of harassment on the enemy army, and the AI is really terrible at dealing with it. So, like, every single shot that you're doing from their backs is doing the missile attack leadership debuff and also the rear attack. So it's, you know, it's giving more damage. So it's all trickling down. It's all adding up, right? I get the Lord. As you can see, Gotrek went after the Lord. Yeah, that's it. And that's the end of that battle. Very simple. 2 minutes 40. Doesn't take too long. And suddenly I don't lose nearly anything. I think I can replenish and get full. But I actually am looking for the treasury. So I need some treasury because I'm suffering from gold. And I get yet more. That's a celebration, which is a control for all provinces, which is great. I mean, everything is actually adding up. Greenskins are running away. I don't see any further armies, but I'm predicting that they have to be... They need to have like maybe 2 armies nearby that I haven't yet seen. At least, because they were top 1 a few moments ago. Of course, they had the Wog, and as soon as they lost the Wog, look at how the Greenskins just start crumbling. Again, I could have resolved this, but I actually am going to fight it. But I'm not going to show it. It's too many battles for you guys to watch. It was already 3 battles this episode. And yeah, another one that I'm going to fight and not show. Okay. I'm just going to encircle before. Okay, so there's another army. So overall, that's 4 armies that I defeated. 5 armies, if not mistaken, that I've defeated so far. well, actually 4 armies that I defeated, 5 if I beat the one that is over there. I captured the place. I just skipped ahead, and I started growing those locations. I don't see anything else. I hope there's not a second army there, but yeah. And I'm gonna go for the depths finally. Turn 61, I'm going for the depths. And I don't have any money, so I'm gonna cancel that out. Yeah. Not the minor one, because I really want the minor one to have some influence. Yeah, this upkeep for grudge settler units is just melting my income now, because it should be like 900 or 1100 instead of this, you know, and that is manageable. That's like a battle, you know. So as long as I do one battle, I have my finances up, you know. I take out the enemy, going for Inquiring Mind to reduce that upkeep, which is perfect. Now lower than the 3000, which is also nice. Now I'm thinking Oath Gold, or let's go for Spell Resist, Magic item. Yeah, I think the drop chance is good to get. I could get the Scouting too, but yeah, well, we do what we can. And finally, I'm in a position to finish off Throg, and that's what I'm going to take. It has a big garrison there. Hold on, I'm gonna see it. Yeah, it has a big garrison. So 17, he's recruiting, so I'm going to fight like 20 units. I can do this. That's perfect. That's great. That's great. Malakai McKayson is going to get less upkeep, which is perfect for me. You know, I need anything that I can. And I'm going to get all the units from these 2 armies to attack the demons here. Conquer them. And man, I cannot wait to have that in order, you know. So I'm going to show you the armies actually that I'm thinking of doing. And here we go. So for Malakai, it's almost what he has. He has like a Slayer unit, a Slayer pirate unit instead of a Thunderer, a Grudge Raker. He has some Gyrocopters instead of course, the Thunder Barges. So a couple of Thunder Barges on the flanks to cover the Slayers. Is just going to deal with anything that the enemy has of anti-large. Then the second army, I just need some Thunderers there to combine with those Gyrocopters. This is a Slayer army. That's the army from Gotrek. You can see that it doesn't have anything. Of course, it has some Gyrocopters instead of the Thunder Barges. And then I have just a standard Iron Breakers with Iron Drake's army, which is perfect, with the Gyrocopter support as well. So lots of Gyrocopters and Flyers, but I'm considering like the next armies will be more into cannons because they'll have grape shots. No, so that sort of idea. And that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.